This is our 2023 BMW M8 Competition Gran Coupe. BMW performance cars as a whole represent value incredibly well. When you look at the world of exotic and performance cars, there's a lot of circumstances where the market dictated value is higher than the perceived value you're getting out of the car. For example, if we take a look at our 720S, you can compare that car to a 765 LT, and yes, the 765 LT is a better car, but it also costs 2, 3, 4 times more than the 720S. Your perceived value you're getting isn't 2, 3, 4 times more. And sure, if one has the money, is it going to be worth it for the market dictatable value to buy a 765? Probably. Most people would buy that car in those shoes. But if you're shopping trying to get maximum performance for your dollar, in that circumstance, the 720S is the better buy. This car represents the ultimate of that. BMW in general are great at building something that has ridiculous amounts of performance and tons of luxury to offer at a substantial discount compared to some of the alternatives. If we start talking more specifically about the M8 Competition Gran Coupe, it is a very, very phenomenal car in the market in which it fits. If you look at the comparables, such as your Mercedes GT63, such as some of the other offerings from Audi, like your RS7, a couple of things like that, this car is very competitively priced and it has a ton to offer. This specific car is in a beautiful spec as well. I love how exotic this car looks. It's not something you can say about a lot of BMWs. This one really does. It has the performance to back it as well. But the Isle of Man green that this car is in absolutely pops, especially in this specific case as we're looking at a car that's got full XPEL Stealth PPF. So this car is this color underneath the PPF, but it gives it this satin finish that looks super, super beautiful. If you look at a car that's not like this, and even if we take a peek in a little bit here at the door sills, for example, you can see the metallic paint underneath, and it is absolutely gorgeous, but being that it almost has this frozen look to it, it very, very much pops. This specific car as well has carbon fiber absolutely everywhere. We've got carbon fiber lip on the trunk, we've got a carbon fiber diffuser, we've got a full carbon roof, which is super, super cool, both from a standpoint of performance, getting weight lower down and getting the center of gravity lower down, along with all the other carbon aspects of this car, carbon mirror caps, your carbon lip, and a lot of pieces on the interior as well. Taking a look around the outside of this car is a very, very large car, but it hides its weight incredibly well. This thing has ridiculous amounts of performance. It's very, very large in physical size, but it doesn't feel it when you're driving. BMWs are known to be super, super performance oriented and very good handling cars. And even though this is kind of the biggest car offered from BMW, it definitely does not disappoint in those ways. Moving underneath the hood of the M8 Competition, this thing has some pretty cool stuff going on. This is a twin turbo V8 that is displaced of 4.4 liters, and it makes around 617 horsepower, which doesn't seem like a ton for how big this car is, but man, does it still move. This thing goes from 0 to 60 in approximately 3 seconds, which for a car this big is incredibly, incredibly fast. Under the hood, there's lots going on, of course, but you can see some carbon fiber. This engine bay is very, very tightly packed, but they're very, very efficient. This car is also mated up with a ZF 8-speed transmission. Very similar to lots of the other cars in here, these gearboxes are great, and there is reason that BMW had DCT transmissions in a lot of their older cars and now have moved back to the ZF8, because even though it is a traditional automatic, it's a fantastic one. They shift incredibly fast, they're very, very reliable, and they are tried and true. They've been in a lot of performance cars for a lot of years, and they do absolutely great. It's cool as well with these cars because the xDrive all-wheel drive system in these is actually configurable. It's one of the only cars I've ever seen that does that. You can click a button and this car will go from all-wheel drive, using the front wheels to rear-wheel drive. And it means you can have super confident, super happy. You could put winter tires on this, drive it all winter with no problem, or Take it to track in summer, switch it into rear-wheel drive mode, and absolutely slay some tires. Regarding this specific car as well, this is a fantastic example if you're currently in the market to buy. We've got this thing priced at approximately $140,000 Canadian, which is very aggressive. It's the cheapest priced when accounting for mileage and year in the country, and it's in an incredibly special spec that will help with resale and whatever else. It's also only got around 7,000 kilometers on it, and it comes from one owner. Got no claims, no nothing. The history of this car is perfect. It's incredibly low mileage. It's fully covered front to back with PPF, as we can see by the beautiful XPEL Stealth, and it's optioned very well. There isn't really any options that this car doesn't have that were available, down to the upgraded wheels, carbon fiber roof, all the exterior carbon, all the interior packages. If you're in the market for an M8 Comp Gran Coupe, this is kind of the car. It's not just cool stuff on the outside of this car, there's tons of cool stuff on the inside too. Let's hop in and I'll show you guys some more stuff. Taking a peek on the inside, this thing is an absolute spaceship. It's a little bit overstimulating, to be honest with you, for the amount of stuff this car has to offer, but there's little details everywhere that are just gorgeous, right? Like you can see here, even some of the mesh around the upgraded Bowers & Wilkins audio stuff looks absolutely beautiful. And if you get this car to turn on, some of this will actually light up when the stereo is activated, which is super, super cool. There's ambient lighting everywhere. You can see the purple right here. And it's some of the details that this car has that really make it stand out. Like if you open this door, for example, if you park the car, you open this door, this section will actually flash in red to make sure that somebody in oncoming traffic can see that you have your door open. There's carbon fiber everywhere, beautiful materials, leather, the stitch of the BMW, blue, white, and red to be seen absolutely everywhere as well. There's a lot of cool touch points and nice things on the inside. You see the suede pillars. So we've got the diamond stitch in the brown leather. It's not overwhelming. The brown is amazing because it's not boring black, but it's also not overwhelming. You see some cars that have a brown interior and it's just too much. You know, you get a brown steering wheel, you get a brown dash, you get all of those things, and it makes it feel really dated versus feeling very modern when you have it as a partial thing inside and not completely everywhere inside. If we take a look on the performance side of things, this car has 2 different M modes, which is great. You can configure either one of these to your preset modes, which is awesome because this car has infinite adjustability. The brakes are adjustable, the steering is adjustable, the suspension is adjustable, the powertrain is adjustable as in 4-wheel or rear wheel, along with a million different other things. And you can take your time, go through your settings, actually set all of that up. We take a peek here. So we've got the screen loaded up here, and as you can see, we've got all sorts of different adjustability. You can set these up and toggle them to either one of your M modes, which is great because you can have 2 different settings set up. If you want a winter performance mode and a summer performance mode, if you want an all-wheel and a rear wheel, you can have it completely pre-configured and go exactly the way you want with it. Outside of that, the screen has tons and tons of stuff to offer, down to like you can control this with gestures, for example. So if we take a peek here, I can go like this, and I can turn the radio up or down, can do next track or previous track, along with a lot of other things. This car, of course, has CarPlay. It has all the amenities and creature comforts you could imagine, your heated seats, your ventilated seats. It's a fantastic place to spend time. There is stuff everywhere, and it is honestly quite overwhelming. You can see here, as I'm noticing as well, as I was talking about earlier, you can see some of the light up of some of the interior pieces and elements. There's that, the M8 badge will actually light up as well. There's a lot of cool stuff that these cars have to offer, both in a performance standpoint, a luxury standpoint, all around. Great cars. In summary, if you are looking to spend $100,000 to $150,000 on a car, this thing is nearly impossible to beat. If you're shopping in that price bracket, there's so many different qualities that you might be looking for, and this thing kind of offers them all. Usually it might be a all-wheel or rear wheel. It might be performance or luxury. This car has all of those things in spades and is fantastic. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any suggestions or anything else you guys would like to see, leave that down below as well. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.